What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Sadly, the Phillies lose the series to the Atlanta Braves. They lose this final game. Mercado got absolutely rocked in the first two innings, and then basically from there, the game was over. With the depleted lineup, they definitely were not coming back from that deficit, so that's just the way it goes at the end of the day. And like I say, I posted this in the title of the stream. There's no need to panic. I don't think any Phillies fans should be panicking, but of course, there's going to be Phillies fans that are overreacting. Look, going into the series, yes, you won the first game. Winning the first game was so important because you couldn't drop three to the Braves. Expectations going into the series, winning two of three with the lineup that we have right now, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. And that's not even being a revisionist history or anything like that. With this depleted lineup, when you don't have Schwarber, when you don't have JT, when you don't have Bryce in the lineup, it's going to be tough to sweep the Braves. And people want to say, oh, the Braves are injured too. The Braves lineup is still relatively healthier, even though they don't have Acuna and Harris. They still have a deep lineup. Yeah, they don't have Spencer Strider, but their rotation has been fine, and their bullpen has been good this year. So it's still a very tough squad that you're going up against when you're depleted. And also that you're throwing Mercado out there into a situation where he has to try to win the series, and the guy just completely did not have anything in his arsenal. The dude could not throw strikes, and when he did throw strikes, they were sent over the wall. That's basically what it was. Really, the only positive you can gain from this game is Tyler Phillips, because Tyler Phillips looked absolutely fucking nasty. Yes, he did allow a home run, that shows to go right there, but he struck out 7, and I believe, 3 innings pitched in that sequence, just getting called up. Oh, here's your major league debut, strikes out 7. That was absolutely some nasty stuff. Yeah, the bats didn't do anything today. The bats did not do anything today, that should be stated. But, like I said, the pitching needs to do more because of the depleted lineup. Because if you're putting this lineup down by a lot so early on, doesn't it's not going to happen. That's just a case right there. And when you're looking at a bunch of the chances that the Phillies had to score into this game, it was a lot at the bottom of the lineup that had those chances. You're getting Marsh on base, you're getting Stott on base, you're getting Turner on base. When Cody Clemens has chances, he doesn't come up. When Stubbs have chances, he didn't come up. When Merrifield had chances, he didn't. When those guys are constantly getting chances, and I feel like I've stated this before, when it's those bulk of the guys, the Merrifields, the Cody Clemens, the David Dahls, the Stubbs, and the Marchand, even like Marchand has been good in my opinion, but like you're only going to get so much from those two specifically, the Rojas's, the Paches, like those guys are not, going to do it. That's just the bottom line there. So it really relies on the top guys, and the top guys really didn't get any chances in this game to drive runs home. They were getting on base, it's just the other guys were not doing the job. And that's the bottom line right there. And for yesterday's game, that goes on Ranger Suarez, in my opinion, because Ranger Suarez, he puts the team down early, and he really couldn't, do anything there. And yes, it's unfair to the starting pitching that they have to go out there and be perfect, but that's the position that they're in right now. And they're not going to be perfect. They're eventually going to hit a wall, and it looks like that's what Ranger Suarez is doing right now. So he definitely needs a little bit of rest, and thank God the All-Star break is coming up for that scenario. And yeah, there's still question marks about Mercado with the 5th spot. I don't think this one start completely defines what he is as a pitcher. I think he has good stuff. He just completely did not have anything today, and I have no idea why. He's a young kid, give him his next start, and I think his next start is against the Oakland Athletics, so we'll see what happens there. You know what I mean? Because you don't have anything else for a 5th starter in this rotation right now. You don't. You don't have anything for a 5th starter in this rotation because you screwed over Spencer Turnbull with putting him back into the bullpen and forcing him back into the rotation, which fucked his arm up, and then, relying on Taijuan Walker, who you don't know when's coming back to the rotation because most likely he will get another chance in this rotation because that's where you are at this point, unless Dave Dombrowski goes into the trade deadline and gets another starter for to back into the rotation. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case either. Dave is definitely going to have a lot of work there, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's not the end of the world at the end of the day. That's why winning Game 1 was so important, because you came into this series with, a 9-game lead over the Atlanta Braves in the division. You got the 10-game lead after winning Friday, and after these 2 losses, it's only an 8-game lead. So basically, in the grand scheme of this entire series, you lost 1 game. You lost one game in the standings, and that's not the end of the world. And this is not guaranteed. Yeah, the Braves offense hit some home runs this series. They definitely did. But it's not guaranteed that the Braves go on this insane tear now to catch up to you in the standings. The Braves this week, they go out on the West Coast, and going on the West Coast, regardless of who you play, it's a tough task. And they're playing, I believe they don't even have a day off in that mix. They play 4 games in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, and that's a team that can beat the Braves, like they beat the Phillies. And they're going to be playing a series against the San Diego Padres, and the San Diego Padres are definitely capable of beating the Braves, and the Braves are definitely capable of beating both of those teams. I'm not downgrading the Braves whatsoever, but the Braves can lose a game to those types of teams. That's just the way it is. It's 4-game series. They're tough series to win. They're tough series to sweep. They could all turn into a split at the end of the day. The Braves, yes, the Braves can win that series. I'm not saying they can't, but it can also turn into, well, if the Diamondbacks get hot, the Diamondbacks can win that series or even split. And, whatever happens against San Diego happens against San Diego. This is all I'm saying right now. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And yes, you got a day off tomorrow, which is uber important. And then Tuesday, it does sound like that Schwarber is coming back, which most likely he'll be activated. It doesn't sound like Bryce Harper's that far behind. He could probably get activated on Tuesday as well, which will be a huge bolster to your lineup, which you add those 2 huge bats back, and then basically at the end, you're only missing JT Realmuto. So adding Schwarber and Harper to the lineup just makes it that much deeper, and it takes a lot of pressure off of some other guys, like a Bryson, Stott, like a Nick Castellanos, maybe even like a Brandon Marsh, and everything right there, and it just helps your lineup up tenfold. And you're going into a tough series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I don't think for the Dodgers case you're facing their top part of the rotation. I think you're facing their back end of the rotation, if I'm not mistaken. They're definitely dealing with some injuries in the starting pitching department. That's where their injuries lie, and I don't even think Mookie Betts is back either. So we'll see what happens there, but they're still going to be a very tough team. They got a very deep lineup. They got Freddie Freeman. They got Shohei Ohtani. They got a good bullpen. They still have a good starting rotation regardless of who you're facing. Even though I did say it was the back end of the rotation, it's still going to be tough regardless of the case. They're, 2 of the better teams in baseball going up against each other this week. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and it does help you out a lot that you're getting 2 of your best hitters in the lineup back, at the right time, most likely. So that does help in that case. And you do have your better part of the rotation going up in this series as well, with Zack Wheeler on Tuesday, with Christopher Sanchez looking for a bounce back from the Cubs game, and where he does pitch better in Citizens Bank Park on Wednesday. And then you'll have Aaron Nola on Thursday. And then for the Oakland series, it will be, Ranger Suarez, Mercado, then Zack Wheeler. Basically, I believe that's the case of the way everything's lined up to be. So no reason to panic. Yeah, people can be frustrated whatsoever, and yeah, it does linger a little more because you do have the off day tomorrow and nothing really happens in that case. But you're still in a very great spot. You still have the best record in baseball. You have a 8-game lead above the Braves, and right now that's not going anywhere. Right now, that's not going anywhere. You're looking at the bigger picture at this point because you were completely just. Your lineup was just completely incapable of scoring 8+ runs basically every game in this series. They got the one game, and that was the most important thing there. It's just, the bottom of the lineup right now is just not playable because of the replacement guys they got to put in there. So that's where you're at this point. And when Bryce comes back and when Schwarber comes back, it definitely does mean some guys are going to have to either get sent down from the bench or, DFA'd, whatever it is, or you could pick the guys that have the options. So you're definitely going to have to pick and choose right there. I'm sure they're going to have to make a decision with Stubbs, even though they're going to keep both Stubbs and Marchand at this point because they need to. So really, you're just looking at David Dahl, Cody Clemens, and Whit Merrifield. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. You'll probably send someone back down with the bullpen. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean there. But yeah, it's just right now. It's, winning this series was going to be tough, and you found a way to get one game in this series. So Braves go out west. That's never easy, like exactly what Sean just said right there. And we'll see what we do against the Dodgers and the Oakland Athletics. The Dodgers is definitely going to be a tough series. It'll be hopefully good to take 2 of 3 from that just because you're playing in your own ballpark and you tend to do play better in Citizens Bank Park than you do on the road. So that's an added benefit. And you're also getting the benefit of having Schwarber back, and you're also going to get the benefit of having Harper back most likely. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, It's really not much if you want to look at this game just stat-wise. Uh, really not much happened. Somehow Mercado got out of a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the first inning, after 2 leadoff walks to Kelnick and Albies. He struck Riley out. He got Olsen to fly out. He walked Ozuna. Then Darno lined out right to Trey Turner. Top of the second inning was your chance to get on the board in this game. Clemens had a 2-out walk. Merrifield then singled, which Clemens moved to third base, and then Merrifield stole second, and then Stubb struck out. And then you go into the bottom of the second inning, Duvall led off with a home run. Arcia got a single. White reached it on an infield single. Then Kelnick hit the 3-run shot. Albies, then Olsen hit another home run in this game. So it's just, it was 5-0 right there. And then another home run happened later in the ball game. White hit his first major league home run. Offensively, the rest of the game, you go down 1-2-3 in the top of the third, top of the fourth. You did have a chance. Marsh walked. He stole second base. Castellanos walked. Clemens grounded into a fielder's choice. So you had first and third there. Nothing happened. Fifth inning, 1-2-3 inning there. Bohm had a double in the top of the sixth. Nothing happened. Top of the seventh, besides a Merrifield single, nothing happened. Top of the eighth, and really nothing happened. You know what I mean? And Phillips was really good today. We definitely don't want to downgrade what Phillips did out of the bullpen today. Definitely saved a lot of the bullpen. Threw 53 pitches out of there, 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, which was a solo shot, 7 strikeouts. He struck out his first 4 batters. Some nasty stuff there. Some very nasty stuff. But Mercado's stat line, not good. An inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout on 57 pitches. He only threw 29 strikes. Jesus Christ. Ruiz, he pitched to the rest of the bulk. He went 1 in the 3rd inning, 1 hit allowed, 1 strikeout on 20 pitches. Strom got an inning in there, got a strikeout on 9 pitches, and then Phillips pitched the rest of the way. Looking at the lineup today, Stott went 0 for 4, so he's definitely going to be moving back down the lineup when Schwarber comes back, which will definitely be a benefit to Stott. Turner went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Bohm went 1 for 4. Turner also got hit by a pitch in this game. Marshy went 0 for 3 with a walk. Castellanos 0 for 3 with a walk. Clemens 0 for 2 with a walk. Sosa went 1 for 1. Merrifield 2 for 4. Stubbs 0 for 3. Pache 1 for 1. And then Rojas 0 for 4. Phillies do go 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. For the Braves side, they just hit home runs. If you look at their stat line, they went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They just hit home runs. That's what the Braves do. That's what the Braves do. That's what their offense is built to do. And that's exactly what they did in this series. So, really not much more you could do for there at the end of the day. So, and if you want to look at the standings right now, like I said, it's an 8-game lead above the Braves. You're 58-32, which is still a 26-game above 500 stretch right there. The Atlanta Braves, they're 49-39. They're 8 games behind you. The Mets, they're 44-44, 13 games behind. In terms of the overall standings around the league, you're still the best team in baseball currently with the record. You're 1 game above the Cleveland Guardians, 1.5 games above the Orioles in that case, and you're 3 games above the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if we look at the Los Angeles Dodgers, what they have done lately, I know they just played a series against the Brewers, and it looks like, they won those first 2 games. So they won this series against Milwaukee after losing 2 series in a row. So they lost a series to the Giants and they lost a series to the Diamondbacks. So anything could really happen with this Dodgers team. Good teams struggled, good teams go on good stretches, good teams go on bad stretches. And if we want to look at the 3 games here, with Philadelphia, it'll be Zack Wheeler going up against Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller is 1-1 with a 6.12 ERA. And so it looks like from the side of it, it's just he doesn't really go deep in the ball games. He really hasn't pitched that much this year, so I'm assuming he just came back from an injury, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he just came back from an injury. So he pitched his first 3 games in March, 2 in April, then he got injured, I'm assuming. Then he just came back on June 19th. So I'm assuming Bobby Miller just came back from an injury. And then for Wednesday's game, that is Christopher Sanchez going up against Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone's been very good at 9-2 with a 3.03 ERA, so that'll be a tough game. He did get rocked against the Diamondbacks, so we'll see what happens there. And then on Thursday at 6 o'clock, it's Aaron Nola going up against Landon Knack. Landon Knack is 1-2 with a 2.86 ERA. And it looks like he doesn't really go that deep in the ball games either. Nope, it does not look like it. The most he's gone is 6 innings, and that was on April 24th. So either this guy just came back from an injury or he got called up or something like that. So I'm assuming, the Dodgers are definitely dealing with some injuries rotation-wise. So I'm trying to see who's been there. I don't even think Kershaw's pitching right now. I know James Paxton's in their rotation, which I never even knew. So there's definitely some interesting things right there. Yeah, they got Yeah, so the rotation right now is Tyler Glasnow, James Paxton, Miller, Stone, and Knack. So Kershaw's not even in the rotation because he's injured, and they're dealing with even more rotation injuries. So that's something to look at right there. I don't even think Mookie Betts is playing still. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Mookie's playing. So if I look at their lineup right now, Shohei Ohtani leads off, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez. Then it's Andy Pages, and then James Outman. I think that's his name, James Outman. Yep, James Outman. Then the Philly killer Miguel Rojas, and then Gavin Lux, and then Chris Taylor. They got Kike Hernandez still. Whoever this guy is, Miguel Vargas. So yeah, they still don't have Mookie back in the lineup. I'm not sure when he's coming back at the end of the day. So they're still, they're fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, I did see the Fox broadcast was getting destroyed by Phillies fans last night. I think it was something because they said something about Marsh, and then they were just constantly praising Marcell Ozuna or something like that. I really don't know the context because I barely listen to the broadcast because I sometimes with the national broadcast I just put it on mute and then listen to Fransky and all that stuff. So I don't even know what those guys even said at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So that's really it from that standpoint. And then, like I said, if you want to look at the rest of the Phillies schedule, besides these 3 games against the Dodgers, after that it's 3 games against the Oakland Athletics. And like I said, it's Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, Suarez, Mercado, Wheeler lined up for the rest until the All-Star break. So you got some time here. I wouldn't be shocked if Dave Dombrowski makes some moves soon. When is the trade deadline? Is that the end of July or is it the beginning of August? I don't remember when the trade deadline is. I always think it's at like July 31st because I always remember that's the day it used to be. But I think it's somewhere in August now. MLB trade deadline 2024. Let's see. When is the trade deadline date? What day is that? July 30th. Okay, July 30th actually. So July 30th is the trade deadline. So we definitely could be seeing some trades soon with Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies. He's definitely going to be making a plethora of trades. He has to. At this point, he still needs outfielders, and there definitely was a rumor out there today or something that was quoted. I forget who it was specifically. I do need to find that tweet just to bring it up entirely right here. So this was from Bob Nightingale, actually. So the Philadelphia Phillies are keeping a close eye on Oakland A's left fielder Brent Rooker. The Phillies ranked 26 in OPS among the left fielders this season. So, yeah, definitely if you can't go out there and get a Luis Robert, Brent Rooker definitely would be a nice option for a bat. He wouldn't be a platoon guy. He would be an everyday guy out in the outfield because he does hit both sides very well from what I last checked. So if I look at Brent Rooker's stats right here, just to showcase what he's been doing in baseball this season. So right now this year with Oakland, he's batting .277 with 18 home runs and 54 RBIs. He has a .540 slugging, an .891 OPS, and a .351 on base percentage for an OPS plus of about 155. And if you look at his splits between lefties and righties, I think he hits them both equally well, if I'm not mistaken. So if I look at his platoon splits, so he's had 246 plate appearances against right-handed pitching, batting .281 with a .362 on base, a .502 slugging, and an .864 OPS with 11 home runs and 38 RBIs. Against lefties, he's only played 33 games against lefties, 67 at bats for a .262 average, a .313 on base, and a .672 slugging with a .986 OPS, 7 home runs, and 16 RBI. So it definitely looks like he has more power against lefties, but he hits them both fairly well. So that's definitely something to look out right there in terms of that. And there was also another rumor. This was from Jim Bowden on one of the MLB.com radio. So he said that the Phillies really want to figure out center field. The 3 names they have been their top priority, according to Jim Bowden, as Luis Robert Jr., Jazz Chisholm, and Cody Bellinger. So there's definitely some intrigue for the Phillies. They're looking around the entire outfield market. Like I said, I think the last time I heard, they want 2 outfielders, one that's going to be starting and one that's going to be a platoon option. So they're going for a starting outfielder and someone probably that could platoon with Brandon Marsh in left field, if that's the case. And we'll just wait and see. And I'm sure that they're definitely going to bolster the bench 100%. Maybe you could never, Harper going after another bullpen arm. And who knows, maybe he does go after another starter for the rotation. Maybe that's just the case. Maybe they don't trust Taijuan Walker enough. Even when he comes back, they get another guy in the rotation. So we'll see. Maybe Taijuan Walker just goes on a phantom 60-day IL stint. Maybe that could be the case. And for Mercado, we'll see what happens in his next start. And basically, it's just waiting and seeing from there. So right now, Dave Dombrowski has his goals set in mind for the trade deadline. I'm fairly confident he'll get something done that will, make us happy and make us, be more excited after that. And hopefully it does improve this team. I'm definitely sure he'll find a way to improve this team. And it's going to be outfield help. It's going to be pitching help, most likely bench help and all that stuff. This is your best chance to not to try to go and win a World Series, try to go all in. So you might as well put all your cards on the table. I'm sure he's still going to try mightily to not use any of Andrew Painter or Aiden Miller in the trade. So we'll see where that goes. But for now, it sucks losing a series to the Braves. Yeah, definitely. I don't like losing series to the Atlanta Braves, but it is what it is right now with the state of your lineup. It's just what it is, and your starting pitching just wasn't there with Ranger and Mercado. And when Ranger and Mercado just didn't pitch good, it didn't put your lineup in a position to even try to come back into the game, regardless of how hard the lineup is. So, you know what I mean? Just is what it is at this point. So you really can't do anything about it. And with the Dodgers and the Brewers, I think they play tonight. I think they're the ESPN game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they're the ESPN game tonight. So they're on the they're live right now. Never mind. So who's this guy pitching for? Justin Robelski or Bleski, whatever. I'm assuming this is the guy making his debut, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess they're not the ESPN game. What is the ESPN game tonight? So I guess I could just have that on in the background. The Boston Yankees. So I probably should have guessed that. Should have expected Boston Yankees as the option. Let's see. What else? I don't really see anything else here from that regard. Really not much to talk about with the game. It's really just moving on at this point. We do have voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline, so we can get to that right here. So let's get to that right now. Let's get to Sean. Let's see what Sean has to say. Then I'll get to some of you guys here in the live chat before we end it off.
So let's just get this out of the way, even though the game is still going on. Obviously, this is a big L for the Titans today. And this was the one game in this series where the mismatch that had appeared on paper actually showed up in and of itself. I mean, all you had to do if you tuned in was just watch the first inning. I mean, the Phillies against a guy that's notoriously a bit wild go 3 up, 3 down in 5 pitches, and when Mercado couldn't find the plate with a compass, you knew the inevitable was happening. Again, not too upset about it. I thought the Phillies were dead in the water to win this series since they didn't take the game last night that looked like you should get. And, you got the one win, so you're only 1 game worse than you were coming in. You're going back home, and you get Schwarber back.
And
that said, we need to add starting pitching to the list of concerns. A, what's wrong with Ranger? If it isn't physical, what is it? B, we need to add a 5th starter because Michael Mercado's obviously not it. We know Taijuan Walker isn't it. And Spencer Turnbull might have been it. But with yo-yoing this guy between the pen and the rotation, you've screwed his arm up probably irreparably. Going to be real interesting to see what Dombrowski does with the deadline soon approaching.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he'll find a way to plug in all the holes that they do need. Obviously, outfield is the number one option for them just because they desperately need hitting from the outfield. And I'm sure he'll address something in regards to bullpen and possibly the rotation, just getting an extra starter in there for depth and also just adding more depth to the bullpen. That would always help. I would like to see Phillips stay up long term here. That would be very nice. Was Phillips a starter in AAA, AA, wherever he was? Was he a starter or was he more of a relief pitcher? I want to actually look at that up for Tyler Phillips for the Phillies. What has he done down in minor league baseball? What has he done? So if I look at his stats, he did pitch in AAA. He's 26 years old. He's from Pensacola, New Jersey, so he's a local guy. He was a draft pick of the Texas Rangers in 2015. If I look at his minor league stats, was he a starter or was he a bullpen guy? So a starter or a bullpen guy? So far this year in Lehigh Valley, he's 7-4 with a 4.89 ERA, 15 games started. So he was a starting pitching down there in AAA. He's pitched 92 innings. Okay. So numbers are a little iffy down there, but he definitely impressed. Definitely impressed. Maybe he gets a crack in the rotation the next go around. Maybe this was prepping him for that. So we'll see. We'll definitely see that case. But yeah, that's basically it on that point. That's basically it there. Yeah, but going for the trade deadline, I'm sure they'll address every need that they have to. At the end of the day, I trust Dave Dombrowski on that front. Oh, Kev, you changed your name. Did not recognize that. Watch that do. That's putrid looking at Stott Castellanos and co on Baseball Savant. Looks terrifying. I have not seen Bryson Stott the Baseball Savant, actually. I need to see that Baseball Savant. Let me look at his Baseball Savant. Bryson Stott. What does his Baseball Savant look like? Okay, so he's expecting, velocity's not that. What was his let's compare it to 2023. Okay, so there's definitely some so looking at his Savant right now, he has improved in areas. He's improved. He's not whiffing as much. He's not striking out as much, and he's walking a lot more, which should bode well in terms of, is he just getting unlucky right now? Yeah, his expected batting average definitely died down a little bit, which was higher last year. Yeah, so he's gotten lower in the whiff rating, a little bit lower. He was 90 in the 95th percentile last year. He's in the 92nd, but he definitely improved in terms of strikeouts. Oh, he's actually around the same in terms of strikeout percentile. He's in the 87th percentile, and he jumped all the way from the 19th percentile all the way to 89 in terms of his walk percentage. So that's a huge jump in terms for Bryson Stott. It's just right now it looks like his barrel's a little bit down, his hard hit percentage a little bit down. He's still basically around the same for his expected batting average right now. So his defense really hasn't been. Really, it's his defense that really hasn't been the best this year. Apparently, he's at a -2 fielding run value. So I wonder what the case is right there. So it's either right now Stott's just getting completely unlucky, or we'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. Yeah, the extra base hits definitely aren't there for Stott, but Stott really hasn't been the biggest of an extra base guy. Looking at the slugging in the past couple of seasons, 419 slugging last year, 358 the year prior, 355 this year. So technically, right now, he's having the worst slugging of his career. But the on base percentage is definitely his best so far. He's at a 336 on base. He just needs to raise the batting average up right now. So I think Stott will get better as the year goes along. But right now, I think he's going through pitchers. So he had a breakout last year, technically. I think he's going through the adjustment period again until he has to readjust. You know what I mean? Okay, here's another stat right here for Nick Castellanos. So since the start of May, Nick Castellanos is hitting .261 with a .312 on base and a .461 slugging. That is a WRC plus of 116, which is 23rd among Major League outfielders and identical to Seiya Suzuki in that same time period. So really, I don't think it's been the top guys that's been the issue. It's really just, the glaring hole in that bottom part of the lineup with your guys that are injured. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's see, what else? If the starting pitching isn't letter perfect, the offense, the way it currently is constructed, has no chance. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Why was that kid in the rotation? Well, he was in the rotation against the Cubs, and he looked pretty sharp against the Chicago Cubs. Granted, it's different competitions with the Braves and the Cubs, but he looked really sharp in his first outing. It's just he didn't have anything today. I have no idea why. I don't know if it was nervousness or anything like that or something. You know what I mean? So he's in the rotation because you have no other options for that fifth spot. You really just don't. Because you're not going to call up Mick Abel because Mick Abel's numbers have been terrible in AAA. And really, right now, you don't have any other option without Spencer Turnbull and Taijuan Walker. That's probably why Dave Dombrowski wouldn't be shocked if he goes after another starter. Would not be shocked. Should have left Turnbull alone. How is Pache and Rojas still on the roster? They have no other options right now. Until Dave Dombrowski makes a trade, they have no other options. That's basically the bottom line right there. That's why they're going hefty on outfielder help at the deadline. Go back home on Tuesday. Yeah, bounce back 100%. Zack Wheeler on the bump, getting your guys back in the lineup should help 100%. Whit Merrifield and Eli White each had 2 hits today. Must mean an apocalypse is upon us. Yep, Braves go out west, never easy. Yeah, they play the Diamondbacks and the Padres. It's never going to be easy going out west, regardless of the competition that you do play. And they don't have an off day in between there, so they're going directly out there. So they don't even have a time for a rest. It's a 4-game series against the Diamondbacks and a 3-game series against the Padres before the break. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Braves lose a couple of games out there. Yeah, Phillips was nasty today. Phillips was nasty. I would like to see him stay up, see what he can do up here, just to see what he has. You know what I mean? He definitely had a good impression today, but we'll see. Oh yeah, Dave will 100% address the bench. Dave will 100% address the bench. Betts can't squeeze. Okay, so it's still a few weeks for Buki. Okay. Wainwright was ragging on Marsh's hair. That's why people got upset. Well, actually, if you want to watch live the Brewers and the Dodgers, they're on MLB Network if you have that. They're in the 4th inning right now. It's scoreless. At least the Flyers scrimmage was entertaining. I did not watch the Flyers scrimmage, actually. I just forgot it was on. But I did see that they gave Luchenko an ELC. So we'll see where that goes, even though I don't expect him to make the roster this year. So even though some people will try to push that, they're trying to prove to us something, blah 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 blah. They're really trying to prove something. No, they're just giving an ELC to a young kid, so they have him on the contracts list there. They need to put some contracts on this team. Tyler, no reacting from me. I've just been annoyed with the offense even before our 2 guys got hurt. It is what it is. I just feel bad for Turnbull. The 5th starter situation would be a mute point if he was just left there. I agree. I 100% agree. I did not agree with putting Taijuan Walker back into the rotation. I don't care how much money he's making. He did not deserve to go back into the rotation with the way Spencer Turnbull was pitching before all that. Yeah, Pache and Rojas. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Defensively, it's fine. Hitting-wise, it's not. So 100% Dave Dombrowski is going for the outfield help. And if you do go to get Brent Rooker, it kind of would be putting somewhat a version of a Kyle Schwarber back in the outfield with the way he does play defense. I'm not saying he is Kyle Schwarber in the outfield, but it's eerily similar. Maybe you could put a Nick Castellanos comparable out there. But if it's a guy that goes out there and he finds a way to hit bombs and he just provides production from that spot, I don't care what his defense is. You know what I mean? Man. Man. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. Don't see anything else here in terms from this game. I don't see anything from Rob Thompson. Don't see anything else there. So we'll see. We'll see. They got a day off tomorrow, which is very important. So we'll see as the way things go right now until, something happens. So right now, barring any, I guess, breaking news or anything like that, I know the Sixers, they signed Caleb Martin from the Heat. Maybe we could talk about that tomorrow. Maybe we can have some more Sixers talk. That'll probably just be more of a recording than anything. And just in terms of any other breaking news, we probably won't have anything tomorrow since there's really nothing going on. And I'll probably have to do a boatload of editing tomorrow for Brodes, so that's probably going to be the case. So we'll see. We'll see. Is it me, or does Castellanos miss mistakes seemingly every at-bat pitches right now down? Yeah, that's the Nick Castellanos experience. He'll have 1 or 2 good series in a row, then he'll have 1 or 2 bad series in a row. That's the way Nick Castellanos is. That's the way he's been. So I'm not even shocked at the end of the day for that. So, yeah, I think that'll do it for today, everybody. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS. $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Put yourself down to see the Phillies versus Dodgers and the Oakland Athletics before the break happens. And, yeah, as I just saw Rhys Hoskins strike out on a high fastball. Not to throw shade at Rhys there. That was just something I just saw. Thought I pointed out. So, yep, thanks, guys, for tuning in tonight.